Hey guys, it's Tech Genie back again with another video. This is hopefully a quick video on different tips that I'm going to try and give you to make sure you don't get into any problems when you are installing a new ROM on your phone. So yeah, let's get straight into it.
So guys, a little shout out. Some guy messaged us and asked us if we could do a collaboration. He's at a similar level on YouTube as us. We've got a few more subscribers, but we can't do a collaboration at the moment. So if you're watching, I'm sorry about that, but we'll hopefully do a collaboration in the future. But here's his channel. He's called Gaming Tech Review. Go and follow him on Twitter. He's on Facebook. Go and connect with him. Go and show him that you came from our video. Go and look at his videos, like them, subscribe them, do all that cool stuff. He's just done a couple of unboxings. I watched a video earlier about him unboxing a Snowball microphone. It's looking pretty good. He's doing quite well. He's got a few subscribers, so definitely go over and subscribe to him. And if you're into that kind of thing, leave a like and let him know you came from us.
Okay, so tip number 1. First thing we do before we install a ROM is we do a backup. Now you can back up your apps by using an app called Titanium Backup. And this basically requires a root, and it will back up your data from your apps. And then when you come back in, you can then reinstall all these apps and it will save it onto your external SD card. The second thing we can do is we can back up the entire phone. So we can back up all the data on our phone, and we can back up the system on our phone. And what this allows us to do is, if we get into any problems, we can go into our recovery and we can just reinstall the last ROM we had on our phone, and from there we can continue with where we left off and we don't get into any major problems. So what we're going to do today is we're going to show you how to do that. So the first thing we want to do is we want to boot into recovery. So we go to reboot, and if your phone has the option, you want to go on to recovery. You want to select recovery on there and do it straight from there. If not, I will show you how to do it now. Okay, so on my phone I have to hold down the power key, volume up key and the home button while it is rebooting. So I'm going to do that now. On your phone it may be different, but on most phones that is how it works. So we're holding this down and we're going to wait until our recovery module turns up. I'm running Team Win, you may be running something else, but it's all the same really. Okay, so here we see it's opening. We can take our fingers off and we can wait for it to turn up. So I'm going to zoom in now and we're going to talk you through this. So on this one you can see it has loads of different options, like backup and restore are the two ones we are interested in. So the first thing we do is we go into backup and we can choose which things we want to back up. We can back up our system, data, boot and all those things. Those are the things that are automatically selected. Now those are the things that I suggest you back up. On different recovery modules it may come up with a different menu, or it may just back it up straight off. And then it will back it up to a storage place, and you can select what storage that is. So you want to select micro SD card, so your external SD card, and then you want to swipe to back up. I'm not going to do it because I've already got a backup and I don't want two backups, and I don't want to get confused as to what's going on. So once that's done, it will tell you you've got a backup. Okay, so this one doesn't give me an estimation of the size of the file that's going to back up, but you want to have at least 1 GB free for your backup. So I do really highly recommend getting an external SD card because if you get into any problems, that is how you save yourself. Tip number 2 is to make sure you have backup ROMs. Now what I mean by this is you can either back up your phone like I just showed you, or you can make sure you have a ROM saved on your phone that you can then install, that you know is stable and you know you can get your phone working again. So for this I suggest you install something like CyanogenMod because it is the most reliable ROM I have had so far. I have had no problems whatsoever with it. So I suggest you do something like that. And I suggest what you do is you save that also on your micro SD card. So on my micro SD card here I have a load of different files. If I go into CyanogenMod, I have CyanogenMod 11 and I have the gaps for that ROM, and I know if I get into any problems and I can reboot into recovery, those two files will save my phone and I can get back in. So that is what I suggest you do. Okay, tip 3. So I suggest you install a load of gaps. Now the important thing here to remember is that different ROMs require different gaps and require it for different software. So if you have 4.4.4 KitKat, you need gaps that will work with 4.4.x, so that and above. If you're running Lollipop, you want it for 5 point something above that. And you can install these quite easily. You can find the files on the internet, and I recommend you go to XDA developers for most of these links. And one thing to do with those as well is to save them in your external SD card as well. So here I've got a gaps from Lollipop, and I've got gaps for KitKat. Tip number 4 is to have a recovery module zip also installed on your phone. Now these can be found all over the internet. Basically here, so on my phone you can see here I have Clockwork Mod KitKat compatible. Now the reason I've got that is because the backup ROM I have installed on my phone is for KitKat, and I know that if I then click on that and I flash that file, I will then have Clockwork Mod installed on my phone, and then I can go in and I can install my other ROM. Okay, so the reason I tell you to install this is because sometimes you get something like a status 7 error. Now I'm not sure if this is the total way of fixing it, but it's worked for me and I've never got into any problems once I've done this. Now if it goes a status 7 error and you can't then install any ROMs or any files at all, your phone basically is not usable. So what I suggest you do is you go in and you go and do, occasionally it'll let you install some files, but you'll find mostly it won't let you install a ROM, and you have a massive problem, and I spent about a week trying to fix my phone. So what I did is I installed that onto my SD card, I went in, and it sometimes has a thing that says apply update, and if you apply the update, it'll then let you flash that, and you are then ready to go and install other things. If not, you can try your luck and go into install and try and flash the zip normally. Okay, so tip number 5. This tip is a very obscure tip and I've left it to the end for a good reason. You don't necessarily want to do this unless you really know what you're doing and you're really sure to take the risk. What I do sometimes to ensure I don't get any problems with the new ROM I install and I don't get any lags or crashes, I sometimes go into wipe, and you can go into advanced wipe, and then I will wipe my system. Now this is a very cautious thing you should do, because if you wipe your system there is nothing on your phone to boot and you could get into a massive problem, and I never show in tutorials to do this as a step, just simply because it can easily be messed up, and I suggest that you don't mess about with anything else. Now the reason I found this and the reason I got started into all this business with these ROMs is because I accidentally booted into it and I had a massive problem, and I thought, hey, let's wipe the system, as you do, because that's a casual thing to do. Tech genie logic. So I went in and I wiped the system, and obviously I couldn't boot my phone, and I had to then go and install a ROM, and it took me about an entire day to fix. So be careful when you're wiping your system. Sometimes it's helpful, but I suggest if you know what you're doing, you wipe the system. That way you have nothing to interfere with the new ROM you're installing. Okay, so that is my top 5 tips for how to help you out when you're installing your ROMs. Now if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, please subscribe, and stick around this channel for videos like this and other videos to do with either unboxings or reviews. We do post regularly. Okay guys, so one thing I forgot to mention was we have a video coming up tomorrow on how to install a new ROM called C-ROM, and on this ROM you can do a load of customizing, and there's a load of cool, wicked things you can do. So if you want to see how to do that, do stick around, come back tomorrow, and I will have the video hopefully uploaded probably later in the evening because I've got stuff to do. It's not fun. But yeah, stick around, see that video, and leave a like on it and tell me, hi, I came from this video, because it's nice to know people actually listen to what I say. We hope you enjoy. Live long and prosper.